Hello folks, Neon Legend here, and today we're going to be playing Age of Wonders 4. So without further ado, let's go.
Your destination.
So, we have a few options available here, but we're going to start with the Valley of Wonders, the Story Round 1, instead of this beginner scenario, because this gives us more of a contemporary and kind of balanced way of getting into the game. Gives you a pretty solid experience. It has crystalline abundance, so mana nodes and pickups are abundant. The underground is uninhabitable, so we can't put a throne city in there, and it's small. There's a lot of the ancient elven courts out there, so we can found new cities off of them. Easy, normal, hard, your standard difficulty layouts. I go with easy just to get a nice standard feel for it.
Starts here.
It's a pretty simple way to look at that. So for our factions here, we've got a bit. The library out the gate gives you a lot available for this scenario. It's very nice. However, I like to do create a faction more than anything, and I've already got one set up for us for this playthrough. So, Lord Neon D. Blackfire. To show you a little bit about it. So even if I had create a faction, this is where it's going to push you into the race, the physical form. Now it doesn't matter what you pick, because no matter what it is, you can choose any of the body traits that any of the other races have. So I could have strong, I could keep it if I want for the orcs, or I could go with keen-sighted just like the elves. It is very straightforward. Physical form is just cosmetic. So, the mind trait is a pretty good one too. So, kind of going back to this one. The body traits have a lot of stuff that are more or less the outward, like the actual, the physical form. So, you're strong. Increases physical damage, melee and ranged. You're tough. 2+ defense. It also gives you the mounts. This is a very important one if you want to try and have a certain rush playstyle or a playstyle in general. Because these mounts they do more than just look cool. They're actually a practical part of the game. I like to do wolf mounts myself. So, but in this case, we're just going to do keen-sighted. The mind one, a bit more varied. It also has the adaptations. I go with Tenacious because those damage penalties from casualties are halved. They still do a lot of damage even though they lose some units. A little bit later, there's going to be something else that I'm going to refer back to on this because that's the type of playstyle I'm wanting to do for this.
What is their origin culture?
Now, I have played quite a few campaigns so far, and in this case I'm going to go with Dark because I don't like having to worry about the city stability. Just thinking about it is just so awkward to me, because it takes so much time and energy to get them to perform on the city stability level that gives you the highest tier of resources and everything else. It also takes away from building other things which would be more useful. Production centers, etc. It's very useful. So, to me, in my first little play style, I chose this so that I could just get a feel for the game. It's pretty solid. There are others. So, feudal, that stand together. I feel like they need to show this one. This is actually pretty cool in its own way. So, adjacent units get 20% plus on their damage when they're adjacent. If you stack this with the wolf mounts that also had pack leader that has a similar level of damage percentage on the plus side, 10-20 I think. So I think it's 20 actually. You can be doing an absurd amount of damage. So it's a very nice setup. High allows you to do Awakened, which gives you plus spirit damage and activate any dominant traits. There are some good ones out there that are pretty nice. Your barbarians, structures with food and income. It's going to help you move, going to help you produce units. Very nice with some of the society traits I'll show you in a bit. Industrious is great for production if you want to just build yourself up for whatever you're using. And bolstering. So, down the rabbit hole of all these descriptions. Yes, so you've got bolster defense, resistance. Self-explanatory in its own way. You can also do scout prospect, and that helps in its own way. I'm not going to read this. This is a lot of information that's coming out all at once. I'm not trying to overwhelm you guys. Kind of like with this, just kind of show you guys unique city structures with knowledge and extra income for prisons and crypts. It's very nice to have that. Also, color of the week, because anything that gets hit with that is going to be weakened, and then your units are going to do 20% plus damage to all of those units that have weakened. And it's great to crack open some late tier units that can take damage when they have weakened stacked on stacked on stacked like that. Makes life a lot easier. Yeah. Recovering from a cold. And then we have Mythic. So structures with mana income. Also have Attunement. So a lot of that as well. And then Astral Echoes. You guys can read that as well. In my case, for my Elfkin, we're going with Dark.
What defines their society?
So gonna show you guys a little bit of this. So there's some of the more good society traits, and when some of these stop you from being able to use some of the evil ones. Not all, but some of them. Mostly the ones that actually give you a negative alignment and are positive, so they cancel each other out. Although, yeah, see, anything has -10 on that, the alignment, can be used with the good alignment. Although I am curious what later DLCs will have for this. In my case, I'm just using Prolific Swarmers, so cities require 10 plus food for the next pop. Tier 1 units have 1 plus rank. My non-magical origin units, 20% less upkeep. Very nice. Very useful later on as well. And Adept Settler, so my city cap is +1, so I can literally found cities pretty much 4 deep at the start of the game. That's pretty strong. And it also costs less Imperium, 25% on that case, and newly founded cities get 1 plus pop, and my starting city gets a population of 1 plus on that as well, so I can immediately annex something, so I don't even need to wait. So I'm going to swarm, quickly spread, and found cities to try and basically lock down the continent for me, so I don't have to work nearly as hard later on trying to fight and dealing with a lot of the distant claims, which I absolutely dread, because it's an easy way to start a fight.
Choose your first tome of magic.
And also get grievances, which I like using grievances to get money out of the AI. I don't like the other way, having to pay for it, so I don't, get in a justified war against myself. So for the first tome, I could go Tome of Souls. It helps with the affinities, which the affinities tree itself, I'll show a little bit of that later in my upcoming playthrough. But yeah, Tome of Souls, it's not bad. I could choose, let's see. Yes, so Cryomancy or this. I'm gonna choose just this normal Tome of Souls, because I get my Bone Golem, pretty strong unit to have, and I get Soulfire. So I get that 10 Frost and Fire. So if a unit's, for whatever reason, Frost or Fire, they're better defense against one, I can still use the other. However, I am also tempted at times when I play through, in a similar fashion, to do Tome of the Horde, because I also get 3 Chaos Affinity, along with 2 Shadow, and in this case, 1 Nature Affinity. And the only reason for the Tome of the Horde is to immediately get Spawnkin, where I get increased numbers in my units formation, which with halved the penalty for losing units in a formation, this is very useful, which means they'll still be doing a lot of damage and 20% more damage as normal. You can even get this to span out a little bit, so it's very useful. In this case though, we're just going to use Tome of Souls.
What is your ruler's
It shoehorns
origin?
you into champion. It's not a bad thing. And as you can read and see, and if not, all cities have 10 plus gold income and 20% city stability. Well, we don't care about city stability. We're a dark culture. All hero units, all non-hero units gain 20% plus experience and start with 100 plus relations with free cities. It's pretty solid.
Reveal yourself.
And as you can clearly see, I've already set up my character. He's looking great. He's got all the fashion, and this is just stuff that you can choose yourself. So without any further ado, let's get started.